Welcome, Player Profiler News PrimeTime. I'm your host, Jake. You can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you so call it, at Louis Lewis 5. That's LEWYLEWIS, and then number 5. It's also right there on the screen for you. Thanks for tuning in to today's show. I am joined by one of my favorite humans, only because he's related to me. Plus, he's shares the same kind of passion as I do for fantasy sports. But I'll introduce him in a minute. The NFL draft is over, and we do now have landing spots for some players, and some players, sorry, you're still a free agent. Chat, did any one of you guys actually attend the NFL draft? I went on day 3. Let me tell you, if you have a chance and if it's near a city or place nearby you, go to it. It's an awesome atmosphere, and I highly recommend going there. Yeah, I went on day 3 only due to work schedule, but I still had a blast, and I brought my daughter. It was a great time. On to today's show, my guest and I, we will be giving you our risers and fallers from the draft, our favorite undrafted free agents still available or on the team, and we are going to do a 2-round rookie Superflex mock draft. We're going to go back and forth on it. We got a lot to cover into today's show. Without further ado, let's get fantasy. What's up, everyone? I got my cousin Bill over here. Bill, welcome to the show. Just introduce yourself and give a little bit of something about yourself to everyone.
Name is Bill Lewis, just all-time, just anything Wisconsin sports fan, Brewers, Packers, Bucks. God help them right now.
Especially with Damian Lillard injury yesterday with a torn Achilles, now out for a long time.
This may be the end of the Giannis era.
Yes, definitely. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today. You are my second person to ever be on my shows, and I appreciate you doing it. Like I said, you're one of my favorite humans. You're a relative. You share the same passion as I do for fantasy. But let's get into our favorite risers and fallers. Let's start with you, Bill. Like, who's your riser right now after the draft is settled and we have clarity of the destinations they landed in?
One of the guys has to be RJ Harvey. Like, I did not see that pick coming from the Broncos. They got him. I was a little shocked, and now I'm like, I thought maybe I could get him later in the draft. Now it looks like he's probably at least going to be second round.
Oh yeah, at least
tail end of the first.
Yep. I mean, I didn't see him getting drafted in the second round by the Broncos, 60th overall. I know the main 4 were already off the board, but I didn't know they felt that high compared to like Caleb Williams or Caleb Johnson. But I think Sean Payton has kind of that go-to guy, if you must say. You know, he drafted Alvin Kamara back then when he was with the Saints and had that kind of system in place. But I totally agree. One of the huge risers has to be RJ Harvey.
Yeah. Did not see that one coming.
Not at all. For me, though, speaking of second rounds, I have to say the second round tight ends, every single one of them lands in a perfect nut position. You know, Mason Taylor, New York Jets. Who is he going to compete with? Jeremy Rucker, Zach Kuhns, Stone Smart. He's your starter now. I mean, there's no other way. He is absolutely your starter in New York. He plays, you know, he's a blocking tight end and he can catch. He did that at LSU this past season. Also, next is Terrence Ferguson, the Rams. I mean, you're competing with Tyler Higbee that gets hurt every single year. Colby Parkinson, He's just more of a blocking system tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Allen, who the hell is he?
Just a guy.
He is more athletic than any of these guys and a better receiver than any of them. I know the Rams want to do more of a 2 tight end sets, and this even gives you a bigger value with Ferguson because he's going to be on the field all the time
I
if
would
they're
think
doing
so.
2 tight end sets. So I expect a huge jump right from the beginning with him. He's very athletic. I mean, he showed it at the combine running, I think, the fastest 40 time for a tight end this year. And then lastly, Elijah Arroyo for the Seattle Seahawks. You think Noah Fant's good? Come on. He had 48 catches, 500 yards last year with 1 touchdown. His best season as a pro was in 2021, where he was on the Broncos, had 68 catches, 670 yards, 4 touchdowns. He will not even compete against Arroyo. He's going to dominate. We've seen it at the Senior Bowl. I wish he never got hurt at the Senior Bowl because of his knee injury. He didn't test well or didn't test at all at the combine. But just like, I don't know how he's going to not be on the field. I mean, this coaching scheme or coaching staff's pick. They inherited Noah Fant, and now they actually draft Elijah Arroyo, which I think is going to be a big target, especially, who do they have? They got Sam Darnold. How do you make Sam Darnold feel comfortable? Get yourself a big ass tight end.
Big old tight end.
We seen that even last year with TJ Hawkinson. Once he came back, he started targeting the tight end position a lot more, I felt like. I mean, what do you think about those risers? Do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree. Like, if you need a tight end this year, this is a great year to get one in the second, third rounds of these drafts.
Definitely. And even tight end premium, I think it just pushes them up a little bit further in your rookie drafts. Give us one of your fallers.
It has to be, to me, Devin Neal. I had him pretty high on my boards, and then he just fell, and then he ended up in New Orleans, I believe.
Yep.
And I was just like, the team is just a dumpster fire. I don't know what to say, but their line doesn't block. They already got Kamara. They have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I believe. Forget they have one other running back too, I believe.
Miller.
Yeah,
that's always hurt.
Who's always hurt. So now you got Devin Neal there too, and I'm like, I have no idea what he's going to see on the field, or even when he's on the field, is even going to get like opportunity to run that well behind this line. Like, they might be behind every game, like 20-0 off the bat.
Yep.
So I'm not quite sure.
He was productive in college, and then
he was great in Kansas.
Then you get bottomed up by all these running backs and a congested, crowded backfield. Definitely.
I'm thinking maybe he was probably hoping not to get drafted and just be a free agent at that point and just pick the team that might fit him best. But
right. No,
now he's in New Orleans, and I don't know what to do with him now.
Oh, I agree. I gotta say, for my top guy, it has to be Luther Burden III. Yeah, I'm not saying anything against Luther Burden. Like, I really liked him going into this draft process.
Yeah.
He did slide. I thought he was in the draft. I thought he was going to be a first rounder personally, but then he gets drafted by the Chicago Bears in the second round. Makes me just question it for fantasy purposes. I think he's a very skilled player, but you have DJ Moore, you have Roman Dunze, that was a top 10 draft pick last year. You have Cole Kmet, that's going to now get surpassed by your 10th overall pick, Colson Loveland. And then now you have to factor in the fact that it's Ben Johnson and they throw to the running back.
Yeah.
Now you got DeAndre Swift or whoever else is catching it. There's only one ball on the field per play. Who the hell are you going to throw it to?
It might be one of those teams. Everyone gets like 4 or 5 targets, and it's going to be like everyone has like 40 yards or something.
And with Caleb Williams, we don't know if it's going to be accurate at all or just one of the most inaccurate throwers last season of catchable balls.
For Caleb, it's great.
Oh, I think Caleb just rose definitely, but
For
he's
Caleb,
got
it's
to also
great.
be accurate to get the tier,
Yeah.
I guess, up. I mean,
Everyone
for me,
else,
I would almost rather have Tyler Warren, Matthew Golden, Trey Harris,
yeah.
and probably Jack Beck. I really like Jack Beck,
Even Tyler Warren, I love, but he's going to a team to two quarterbacks that couldn't hit the broadside of a barn at this point. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're just
Right.
going to want to run.
And then, I mean, they did draft DJ Giddens as well. But yeah, for that, I mean, when your quarterback goes 10 for 33,
Yeah.
those 10 passes might have been, the 200 yards, but ain't going to be not much underneath.
I mean, even if it's, gosh, Daniels or from New York,
Yep.
he didn't do anything with the tight end in New York.
No, he didn't. We've seen
Richardson
that.
hasn't done anything with anybody.
I think he always wants to do more of the running
Yeah.
and everything like that, rather than Jonathan Taylor's right there wide open.
Yeah.
Dump it off to him instead. Fuck this, I'm gonna heave it
Yeah.
long, and hopefully at this point, I think it's what Alec Pierce was down there somewhere. I don't know.
It's another one of the most great talent. I just really hate the team he went to.
Yep. I mean, hell, maybe he's going to be doing more Wildcat because they can't throw the damn ball.
God, who knows at this point? That's another one of those teams. It's just a dumpster fire.
Yep. All right, give us another riser.
I really like Savion Williams for the Packers. Maybe it's just me being a homer, but I just see better Debo Samuels all over him. And to me, being on the Packers, he's not going to be like, I need so many targets, because he might get 4 or 5 targets, but he might get 5 or 6 rushes, and he might return kicks or punts, and hell, he can even throw for a touchdown. Like, he has a lot of different ways he can get points on this team, and the Packers have shown they like to use those types of players.
Oh, definitely, and especially in that kind of offense. I mean, like you said, a homer. I'm right there with you. Big, huge Packer fan myself, and I mean, you use him basically. I think his player comp is probably Cordell Patterson,
Yeah.
but bigger. I mean, he came into the league as a receiver, but we seen him transform into a running back for Steelers and have some productive games. And even in college at TCU, I think he had 6 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
I mean, it's a match made in heaven, because you're going to have so many mismatches. And also, it was a deeper running back class.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know what the hell is going to happen with Marshawn Lloyd of last year's draft pick. Is he going to be healthy? Is he not? I mean, we got Emmanuel Wilson that showed promise for backup, but
Not bad, but
what
yeah,
happens if something happened to Jacobs? That's really the question.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole, you don't even know what's going to happen with the Packer receivers at all. It's just one big cluster.
I think this draft was they got put on notice.
Oh yeah, I think
they need to step up, or they're not going to be here next year.
Yeah, I think Jacobs got taken into consideration. We need that true number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
For me, another riser, I mean, it has to be Caleb Johnson for the Steelers.
Yeah.
He slides into the Najee Harris role immediately, in my opinion. I mean, this guy is 6'1", 224 pounds. He could be that mini Derrick Henry for Arthur Smith's offense. And they're running the zone scheme. In college, Caleb had over 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, and also caught 22 passes for 188 yards in his final season as a Hawkeye. To me, he will be dominant in the rushing game aspect. He might give away the targets to Jalen Warren just because he's a lot better receiver, in my opinion. But he's only there for a 1-year deal currently, and we don't know what the future is going to hold. But we know Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin run the hell out of the ball. It's a perfect match to me.
It was a great fit.
I think he even almost jumps probably like Quinshon Junkins. I like the
Yeah.
spot he landed, but it's crowded now. You got 3 running backs instead of one to compete with.
If they hadn't drafted Sampson, it might be a little different, but drafting him too.
Yep. And already having Jerome Ford on your team,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
And it might be another one of those teams, if they're way down, how much are they going to run?
Yep. I mean, hell, we don't even know what their running back or passing is going to be.
Yeah. It could be a quarterback each quarter. Who knows?
It's preseason quarterbacks all over.
Just spin a wheel at halftime.
Exactly.
Whoever it is.
Definitely. Give us another faller for you.
Another faller is, we just brought him up, Dylan Sampson. I had him high up my board, but going to the Browns really put a damper on that, because if they put that much draft capital in Judkins, he's truly number 2 at best.
Yep.
And what's that going to be, like 6 carries, 7? How much is he really going to get?
I don't even know if it's that much, because I'm sure they still love Jerome Ford, I feel like, too. I mean, we showed seeing it last year that he can handle the workload, but they want to relieve that. I don't know.
It was one of those, I get he was the best player on the board, but what are you going to do with him realistically? Like, he's there, but you going to use him? Or is he going to be one of those guys you got to draft and stash him on your bench for a year or two? And
to me, it might be almost like now Jalen Wright for the Dolphins. I mean, maybe it's just a Tennessee comparison, but now you got Ollie Gordon there. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing with? And you got Devon Achane. Just a big cluster and big mess. It's it's going to be the Spider-Man meme of everyone pointing at each other. Who's going to get the ball? Me, you, him?
You're just gambling someone gets hurt and they get an opportunity.
Yep, that's
all it is.
Definitely. And that brings me to one of my fallers, Damian Martinez, getting drafted by the Seattle. I don't like it, to be honest.
No.
This season, he doesn't have much because he's in a crowded backfield, just like Samson, like for you. If Ken Walker stays healthy, I think he could be a top 5 running back, but what's the likelihood of that he's healthy?
Yeah, we haven't
60%. 60% of the season he might be healthy, and then the
Week
other
5.
40, you got Zach Charbonnet to carry the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for him to pass, and we know it's Ken Walker's contract year, so he's probably going to try to play through a lot of these injuries.
I would assume so,
just to get that money. And we all seen it. You pay a person to play. The final year of their contract bust out. Next year they got a little, a sliver. They're out for 3 games in their finger, and just because they got that guaranteed money. But I just don't see much value for Martinez. Maybe short yardage, but I think they're going to put Zach Charbonnet in rather than the rookie.
I think they would too.
Yeah. I don't see him helping out your quarterback that sees ghosts in playoffs or big time games. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I guess it was one of the last 20 picks. And I know you said it to me before. He's probably same thing as earlier. Like, you wanted to not get drafted.
I'd rather have gone free agent, been a free agent earlier instead of being locked into a rookie contract. Gone to whatever team I thought I could have played for.
Oh, 100%.
If I was the agent, I'd been like, "Oh, you don't want him. His leg's hurt, or he's got amnesia or something. You don't want to draft him."
All right, give us your last riser.
Last riser is probably, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, Beach for the Raiders. Jack.
Say Beach. Again?
Is it Jack?
Jack Betch.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably instantly the number 1. Like, he just is.
Yep. I see him a lot of Puka Nacua. I mean, yeah, maybe he does the dirty work and he'll be on the field. Mm-hmm. He's not scared to get his hands dirty. It's tragic of what happened with him losing his brother in the terrorist attack on New Year's Day down in New Orleans, his brother. And then he comes out, plays the Senior Bowl, and catches a game-winning touchdown. It is an amazing storyline, and couldn't ask for to better person. And he was third round, fifth pick of the third round. I mean, you got the draft capital. You got a good quarterback. Now, I mean, I think Geno's good. He showed last year that
he's decent. He's good.
I mean, he could support 2 wide receivers in top 24. Now, Jacoby Myers, is he really going to take that much away from Jack Beck?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, you got Ashton Janty, and you want to run the ball. Jack Beck is going to be out there blocking his ass off for you. And if you do play action, he's going to fake block and just run right by you. He doesn't have this exact speed that you want from a receiver, but he's that possession guy that can just catch anything and everywhere.
He just got that landing opportunity. Like, there's probably better receivers out there, but he just got the better situation.
Exactly. I agree. All right, my last riser has to be Arondé Gadsden, the second tight end for the Chargers. Maybe it's because I really love Syracuse, but this guy got drafted in the 5th round and is very productive in college. Yeah, he only played 23 games, but he had 143 yards or 143 catches for almost 2,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. That ranked 5th in receptions and 10th in yards and 11th in receiving touchdowns in Syracuse history. Most of these stats came just across 2 seasons. As a freshman, he didn't really play. He only played a couple games. In 2023, he only played in 2 games because of injury. But in 2022, 61 catches, 969 yards, 6 touchdowns. Just last season with Kyle McCord, 73 catches, 934 yards, 7 touchdowns. We know Chargers were looking to address this position in the offseason. How did they do it? They signed Tyler Conklin. I feel like he's not going to be much competition for a guy like Gadsden's ability to beat out. He's going to be more of a receiver than a blocker in the NFL, but I think that's what Jim Harbaugh wants, really. I think he's going to get his catches and he's going to be out there. You know, we all know Jim Harbaugh doesn't want shitty players in general, so he's got to be interested in Gadsden if you're going to take him in the 5th round.
I would assume
and address your tight end position.
And like you said earlier, there's so many tight ends in this draft. Like in a normal draft, he might have been higher than 5th round.
Yes, definitely.
And just going back to that point, like for this draft for fantasy, if you don't get Tyler Warner, you don't get Loveland, there's so many other tight ends you can get later on in the draft. I'd rather almost take a dart throw at one of those guys than maybe use a tight end on my higher draft picks.
Definitely. I don't disagree with that at all.
All right. The landing spots.
Yeah, that's the thing. The top 5, tight ends, their landing spots are perfect. I mean, besides the top 2, I'm not very happy with Colston Loveland going to the Bears. I just, once again, it might not be all him. It's more of there's only one ball, like I explained earlier, with
a lot
Luther
of
Burden,
things.
And then your quarterback play for Indianapolis is god awful.
Yeah, I can't see him getting like Bowers receptions every game. Like,
no,
he'll be lucky if he gets it thrown to him 5 times.
And how accurate are those throws going to be? 2 of them may be catchable. The other 3 are over his head by 20 yards, or it's at his feet.
Someone else's hands.
Yeah, exactly. All right, give us your last faller.
It's got to be Shador. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah,
that was the story of the draft.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, I was there on day 3, and that is one guy I was looking forward to get selected just because I was at the draft. You know when he got selected? When I was in the bathroom. like that's when his and I didn't hear any cheers or anything. I was in the stadium, and by that time I looked up and I see on the big screen that he got drafted. I was like, well, I mean, if it wasn't earlier, I guess what the hell?
Yeah.
You got beat out by Dylan Gabriel.
When he didn't go in the first round, I was like, okay, he's got to be the first pick of the second round to Cleveland. He has to be. It's going to be
That
him and a running back.
Yep,
And then
that
because
or even
Beckton's, and I'm like, well, they're just rolling the dice. So you can get him a few picks later. And then it still wasn't him. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then he
right.
fell to the third. And then they were like, Dylan Gabriel. And I'm like, what?
You see
I'm
so
sure
many.
Dylan Gabriel was even like, did I just get drafted? I thought I was going to be a backup and hold a clipboard for 10 years and make millions. I might have to actually play.
So true. It's like I see so many memes and everything like
Gosh.
crap, my internet went down and it auto drafted for me, and we woke up and we got Dylan Gabriel. Woo, go Browns. This is why
Yeah.
crap
I,
teams stay crap.
I almost got to feel like they picked him because the owner forced them to pick
Right.
him at that
Like
point. Because
he's the next best guy on the board, just like Dylan Sampson, next best guy on the board. And if you looked at the Browns room once they drafted, like I don't know what to do. Let's go do the next pick.
You only have so many snaps in practice. Like, it's probably hard enough just to get one rookie up to speed. How are you getting two rookies up to speed? Like that, are you gonna hire like 20 quarterback coaches? Like what is gonna go on there? Like
They're all camp arms.
we
I
only
don't
have
know.
like four, and then even if the quarterback does pan out, they didn't draft a wide receiver. You don't even have anyone to throw to, even if you figure out the quarterback position.
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry
That's
Jeudy and Njoku, he's starting to get
well,
up there.
you got Harold Fanning Jr. too.
Fanning
That's going
Jr.
to
now.
play probably slot for them. I don't know what like that. I mean, that one was not a good fit to me.
No. So
Fanning
even if you
and
do
Njoku.
figure out quarterback, he's still got no one to throw to, really.
Or to block for him.
Or to block for.
All right. My last faller's gotta be Isaiah Bond.
Oh. Has he picked up anyone yet? Like, is he still out there?
He's still out there. I mean, once projected to be a first rounder, now as an undrafted free agent. Sheesh. Last year, he was college's most wanted player coming into the transfer portal out of Alabama, and he went to Texas because, we know Texas spends their money on the NIL deal. But he was surpassed by this year's first rounder, Matthew Golden at Texas.
Yeah.
In his last season, he only had 34 catches for 540 yards. Man. And then you go into the draft process and you say you're going to beat the 40-yard dash record at the combine.
Yeah. He
you ran a 4.41. Get the hell out of here, man. You are not running at 4.29. You're not even going to beat your college teammate.
He had the wrong shoes on. I don't know.
Jesus. The wind was blowing at him. I don't know. And then this weekend happens, and you don't even hear your freaking name called. Like, and as of right now, you haven't even signed with a single team. Maybe it sounds like more of these teams are waiting because he did have a warrant out for his arrest for sexual assault allegations. Maybe that's going to play into it. But man, I tell you, I mean, there's some guys that got drafted that had a couple sexual assaults too. Mike Green had those allegations going against him. It's just, man, this sucks for a guy. And that has to be one of the biggest fallers because he's not even signed right now or invited to a mini camp, to say the least.
And then watch, like, he'll get picked up by like the Eagles or somebody. And
I mean, that's why you get good teams being good always.
And then there's other teams that are bad all the time, like the Browns, and you just look at the draft and you see why.
Exactly. Well, let's hear a word from the Podfather about Dynasty Deluxe.
If you play in Dynasty, you need Dynasty Deluxe, our premium package for Dynasty Leaguers. We rank over 300 players, updated every week, all year long. And there's a win now mode. and a rebuild mode with Superflex and tight end premium controls. And a Dynasty League sync where you can say, sync down all of my sleeper teams, all my FFPC teams, and then you can browse around your leagues for who has needs, and then you can use our trade finder to see what kinds of trades are happening in leagues that are similar to the one I want to do. Then you can analyze trades using our trade analyzer, which balances the lifetime value, which includes pick values out to like 2028. All of that plus the rookie guide, $25 value is included. So if you're just in one Dynasty League, Dynasty Deluxe is well worth it. And use your host's promo code, and you can bump up to All In and get $25 off.
Yeah, use my promo code Lewis, Lewis. All right. Since we're already talking about undrafted free agents, give us one of your two favorites.
Ooh. I'm liking more and more Donovan Edwards to the Jets.
Oh boy. Talk about crowded backfields.
Hey, if they're having an awful season and they decide to make a trade, he's got an opportunity then.
Yeah. I mean, look at this cover of NCAA.
I mean, he's another one of those guys. There are so many running backs this year in a normal draft. There's no way he goes undrafted.
No, not at all. I mean, hell, he was one of the most highly praised guys. He made the cover of NCAA this past year. That came back for the first time in 10 plus years. I mean, you had him, Quinn Ewers, that got drafted in the 7th round.
Yeah.
And then you had, the Heisman, obviously Hunter. I mean, that's a good choice, but the other two, what the hell are you thinking?
Maybe
you
they
guys
took
better be
less money to
careful
be
of who
on the
you put
cover.
on. No, I agree. I mean, I was wondering where he was going to go in the draft as well, and his name never got called.
It's one of those ones where it paid off more not to be drafted and go to a team that doesn't fit you. Then I get to now go to a team where I might get a shot, and they're actually rebuilding, and I might get some playing time there.
And I'm this coaching, pick basically. I mean, he was very sought after the draft. He was one of the first guys signed to a deal as an undrafted free agent. He could absolutely get some playing time. I think he could be better than Elijah Davis and slide into at least that 3 role.
I would assume he's going to be I would put him in as the 3.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to beat out Braylon just yet. I mean, but they both give you different aspects, Yeah. I think Edwards is good at receiving game, and you have your ground and pound guy. If this is obviously if Breece Hall gets traded
which it could happen.
Yeah, it could, because he's going on his final year of his contract, and
if things are going bad, and I mean, I'm sure the Redskins would love to get him.
Yep, absolutely. One of my guys has to be Elijah Badger, wide receiver for the Chiefs. Badger, first off, he's got an awesome ass name. Second, if you don't know who he is, he came from Florida. He's 6'1", 192. He played at Arizona State before transferring to Florida his senior year. He only had 39 catches, but he had 806 yards with 4 touchdowns his senior year. I mean, that's over 20 yards per catch.
Yeah.
And, at Florida, they're going in and out of who are they going to start as quarterback? Is it going to be DJ, whatever, the awesome freshman, or Graham Mertz that got drafted? What the hell? I don't know how he got drafted in the, this past year. I mean, me and you both know because we watched the Badgers, and he's
not good.
Terrible.
He's not good.
I don't know how, but he runs smooth routes, turns his hips really well. I see Badger actually making this Chiefs team and becoming a replacement for maybe like a Justin Watson. I mean, you have players on this team that can shine, but you lost Watson. You drafted. Who did they draft in early on? I can't remember. Yeah, I think second round, wasn't it? Jalen Royals.
Jalen Royal, yeah.
Yep, that's one of my favorite guys too in this draft process. But I just see Badger making the team. He's got the body of, I mean, the good receivers, Justin Jefferson. He's got that body type, body arc, you know, or Chase and everyone else like that. I really like what he put on film.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, only 39 catches, but he had a lot of yards, so he's explosive after the catch.
I mean, you get to play with Mahomes. Who
Yep.
knows if Hollywood Brown can stay healthy?
Yep.
You still got Will Rice ever get suspended.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
you don't know. And Kansas City has no problem using a wide selection of wide receivers in this offense. So
Yeah, I mean, they still have Justin Ross that was an undrafted free agent from Clemson. He's still on the roster. Like he always just plays a couple snaps here and there, but he's still
might be-
lingering around, you know.
he might be that guy on the team. Hey, just run a couple long routes, 2 or 3 a game. We'll chuck it down the field 50 yards to you. And if he gets one,
Exactly. That's why I said Justin Watson. I mean, that's what he was known for, right? Hey, let's third down. Let's throw it to the guy they don't know that is going to
Yeah.
get the ball. All right, give us your final undrafted, and then we could always get into this mock draft that we got.
I'd say, what was it? Guy. I'm going to pronounce this guy's name wrong. Respirito or Respiro?
Oh,
Miami.
Xavier Restrepo.
Thank you. Getting reunited with his quarterback in Tennessee. I got to
Yes.
like that.
Yep.
Just the comfort level with the quarterback, you got to think gives him an upper hand already
Yep.
on making the team.
Exactly. I mean, they did take a couple shots at wide receiver with Alec Manor and
I mean, Ridley's getting up there.
yep.
Tyler Lockett, he's up
That is
there.
a surprising draft or pickup. You know, he's probably going to be playing more of their slot, but
I mean, it wasn't a bad pickup, I think, just for a year.
I mean,
just to give him a guy.
Restrepo can learn from Lockett, honestly.
Exactly.
At that, because I think this is the last year Lockett's going to be in the league.
Yeah, this is his farewell tour.
Yeah, definitely. It's I don't know. I mean, I think Restrepo fell in the draft because of his
40 time.
40 time and then he tries to delete the tweet and everything else like that of he was hurt playing that game, deletes it, and then it's like, were you hurt or are you just making shit up? I don't know. But I do like the comfort. How do you make your number 1 overall draft pick comfortable? Give him a familiar face.
Yeah.
I honestly wish they would have drafted Elijah Arroyo, to be honest. I mean, they drafted Gunnar Helm from Texas at tight end. So it gives them a comfortable guy. I think Chigakonku's numbers are numbered in Tennessee, to be honest.
Or he could have a really sneaky good year.
Yep, that's
Actually
true.
having a guy who can get him the ball.
Exactly.
I mean, he's another one of those guys, like, he could get that one, and it's like 50 yards. And
Yep. I'll say mine real quick. My last one is Raheem Rocket Sanders for the Chargers. I thought, a couple years ago, he could have got drafted after his sophomore year. I mean, this guy is 6'2", 242 pounds. In his sophomore year of college at Arkansas, where he played for 3 years, he rushed for over 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. He was highly thought of being a day 2 pick at least after his sophomore year. And then obviously his senior year, he transferred to South Carolina where he only had 880 yards, but 11 touchdowns on the ground. I see him, if he does make the team, taking that Gus Edwards position.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
they got the Najee Harris role, but Najee's not there next year.
Yeah,
Najee's gone after this year, and then you got Amarian Hampton that's going to step in. But they need breathers.
Exactly.
And I think it's a perfect landing spot for Sanders, in my opinion. I just think it's a good idea. And you're going to take that Gus Edwards role. Yeah, you're not the fastest player, but you can run over some guys and break tackles.
And it's rare that any player is going to play every single game of the year. Like, they're going to be down for a game or two.
Oh, absolutely.
Could be that perfect fill-in-a-week guy.
Yes, I agree. All right. That is it for those. And then let's hear another word from the Podfather, and then we'll get into our 2-round rookie mock.
I am proud to announce that Fast Draft now has an all-defense game called D-Up. That's right, fans of IDP finally have a real money best ball game that they can play. No more manually setting up leagues every time you want to do a draft. No. Now you can play for 10 grand, 2,000 to first. Could draft up to 30 teams, all defense. And the best part, balanced scoring, tackles for loss, pass breakups. It all factors in. Just draft 6 defensive players, top 4 into your lineup every week. It's that easy. It's so easy that this isn't just for IDP people. If you love the NFL, then you'll love this game. And for the first time with Fast Draft, you can sweat both sides of the ball on Sunday. So use your host promo code to get a $25 deposit match, and you'll love this D-Up contest because it's about time we got one.
Yes, the D-Up for Fast Draft. If you haven't signed up, make sure you use the promo code Lewis, and then you get dollar for dollar match up to $50 on your first deposit. All right, Bill. We're doing this.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I put in RA. I'm taking number 1 because I want to hear your thoughts on 2 and everywhere else.
Okay.
But obviously, I think it's clear cut that Ashton Jainty is by far the number 1 guy. It just has to be.
I would say the only
don't know
thing you'd worry about is the amount of carries he had last year.
the amount of carries. You think the tread tires?
What was it, like 370 some carries last year?
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be the only thing I'd worry about. But other than that,
I
he's
think
got to be
it's
the
a
number
clear
1.
cut number 1 at the very least. All right, you know I'm not going to talk anymore about him, but you're on the clock. Who you selecting here?
It's probably Hampton.
Hampton, okay.
Unless you were really desperate for a quarterback.
And
but
this
it's
is
Hampton
Superflex,
for me.
everyone, that we're doing. And you want to do a tight end premium as well? Let's do tight end premium as well.
Okay,
So it might make a little adjustments here and there. Yeah, I agree. Amari Hampton, he found, we just talked about the Chargers. It's a good area or place to be for him. I don't hate that one bit.
No.
So I'm on the clock at 103, and I think this is kind of where it gets interesting. With the landing spots, now that we know, normally it would have been what? Junkins, Henderson, Ward. To me, I think it's Cam Ward here.
I do too. He's the only guy who's going to start week 1.
Exactly. And it's a flex. And we all know if they produce in year 1, you could flip that for 2 firsts next year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you might not have liked it right away, but having it's a good idea in my opinion. I think it's just a steal. All right, you're at 10. What's that?
104.
Yep.
I'm taking Tet in Carolina. Like, he's by far and away, he's the number 1 week 1. He's going to get a monster amount of targets in that offense.
Oh yeah, yes. And I was just thinking about this. The head coach came from where? Tampa Bay. Who do you just find? His Mike Evans.
Yeah.
It's a perfect landing spot to me for him. It gives your young up and coming quarterback. I mean, he showed promise at the end of the season last year. And now you get him a 6'5" guy to throw to.
And you got to figure, like, Bryce Young's he's a shorter guy. Having a taller wide receiver probably helps him out a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I
got to go Ted.
Yeah.
I'm
on the clock. I'm going to have to go 105. Travion Henderson.
Ooh,
So the only reason I'm saying that is, there's so many other options you could have had, but I think it just makes sense right here because, again, Ramondre is not this coaching team's pick. Travion, they physically picked Travion, and it might be more of a Jahmyr Gibbs kind of David Montgomery kind of situation, and we've seen that both of them can produce. I don't think Ramondre's anywhere close to being David Montgomery. I'm saying that, but I can see Henderson being kind of that Jahmyr Gibbs guy and getting a lot of catches. And for fantasy and PPR leagues, it's a great ad to me. You don't like it, do you? You don't like any of those.
That was my number 5 pick as well, actually.
Okay.
So no, that's where I was going.
Well, you're up at 106.
This is tough. I'm gonna go Hunter based on ceiling, but I'm not in love with the pick because there's still that fear in me that he's going to Jacksonville and their secondary sucks. So what if they primarily just want to use him in that position and he just plays half the snaps on offense?
I feel like
Brian Thomas is there, so is he ever going to be the number 1? Is he I just don't know.
No, I totally agree. He's going to be that guy.
I don't know where to put him in the draft quite yet.
I think I do like the landing spot for him because, I mean, he can play both sides of the ball. I think he can in the NFL.
He could.
I'm one of those guys, but how many snaps are they going to? Is he going to play 50% on each side of the ball?
Yeah.
Is he going to play 60, 70? That's when, and he's not a big guy either, and he's going to be taking hits from these
and
well-rounded players, the physically gifted freaks, and best of all time.
College playbooks where it's just just go out there and run something. It's no, these are, pretty sophisticated. He's going to have to be in all these meetings every single day, and 17 games. That's a lot.
Yeah, and we got to remember a couple seasons ago when he was at Jackson State, he hurt his ankle and he missed a lot of time. I felt like so. If he's on defense and he gets hurt, then you get screwed on offense too.
That's the rub with drafting him. If he gets hurt, you lose 2 positions.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Shohei Ohtani of football, but you only have to pay one guy, only one roster spot. But I think it was a perfect move for Cleveland trade, and they got on. You got probably the best defensive tackle in the draft easily. You got a great running back in Junkins, and then you got next year's first.
So I guess if all 20 of their quarterbacks don't pan out, they could use both their firsts and trade up and get another one.
Exactly.
Maybe they're like Pokemon in Cleveland. They got to get them all. I don't know what's going on.
I love that. I love it. All right, I'm here at 107, and I think this is where it kind of gets tricky and interesting.
Yeah.
I think it goes by landing spots in a way, and we're, like I said, we're going to do tight end premium. So for me, I think Tyler Warren. I know you don't like the landing spot, but I think for dynasty purposes, he might not produce right off the bat, and we learned this that tight ends usually take a year, maybe 2 to learn. If Colts suck and if Richardson sucks, they're going to have a quarterback next year. And let me tell you, just looking into next year's draft class of running backs, it looks freaking loaded of coming out. You have Archie, you have Nico, you have Drew Aller, you have Nussmeier, and everyone else. There's more stellar from South Carolina. I mean, they got so many. And then every year you get a new face. Like Cam Ward was not on my book of being the number 1 overall draft pick this year. You just get new guys every year. So I feel like he might struggle, or he might just get a shit ton of catches and targets because that's what they're going to tell Richardson to throw to.
That could very well be too.
And if he sucks, you got somebody next year. Why not?
That is true.
All right, you're on the clock, 108.
Like you said, a lot of it to me is like landing spots. And I've moved them up my board a bit. I like Caleb Johnson in Pittsburgh. I just do. They love to run the ball. He's from Iowa. He doesn't even have to change colors. He's still black and yellow.
Yep. Oh,
I just,
and I
I
think
just
we
see
talked a
him.
lot about him earlier too. It's just perfect.
I feel like it's a perfect fit, and he's going to get a lion's share of the opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. I'm
And
on clock. Oh, so
I was just going to say, he's a first-round pick I know I'm going to get production out of right away.
yeah, right away. I mean, you could line him up, and he's literally taking that Najee Harris role.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Mike Tomlin loves only utilizing one running back at a time for the most part. I mean, you got Warren that can catch out of the backfield, but I think he's going to knock it out of the ballpark.
December in Pittsburgh, you're running.
Hell yeah, it's going to be cold. Run the ball. So next, I'm stuck on two guys. Quinshon Junkins or RJ Harvey. I think that's where it has to be for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm going to draft the higher of the two in Quinshon Junkins. Maybe that's just because I want to see how that crowded running back goes. Maybe they drafted Sampson to be a third guy just because they've experienced the injuries of Nick Chubb for years and only having one running back because what they had, didn't they get like Kareem Hunt too back in there or whatever?
Yeah. They
You
played with
know,
that for
like
a while.
once Chubb went down, they had to get another running back in there that wasn't even on the team and to complement Jerome Ford. And I don't see them wanting to have one running back again.
Whew. What are we on now? Pick 10?
Yeah, 10 or 110, I guess.
This is going to be more of a pick down the road. I like Mbuka or
Mecca.
Tampa. Yeah, I'm not sure how he fits into the scheme this year, but
Goodbye.
the talent's too good not to pick him.
Right. I mean, goodbye shares of Jalen McMillan. Kiss those goodbye.
Yeah, I have him.
I traded him for Ramondre Stevenson in a different league, and both of them are lit up in flames now at this point. But
it could be Evans last year. Maybe Godwin is a little more hurt than what we know. I'm not sure, but he definitely fell into a good system regardless.
yep. And
So,
you know they're going to pass the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
And for the Buccaneers, you know he's going to do the dirty work. So maybe that's a reason why he blocks from the slot or whatever, especially if Godwin's injury is bigger than what we know.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's a good fit. It's just a matter of they have like 6 wide receivers now.
All right, 111 for me. And I said it before. I think it's just got to be RJ Harvey for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's only strictly because of landing spot. He's went up like a whole round higher for me in my draft boards. And that's because I love the landing spot. Like there's two landing spots for me was the Chargers and Broncos. Whoever went to those two teams, they're moving up for sure. And Steelers.
Yeah.
You know, Caleb Johnson absolutely moved up as well for me.
The only thing with him is to just watch over the next couple of weeks, make sure Denver doesn't sign another running back.
That is true. I mean, it's hard for a lot of these, you know, listeners and everything. They're wanting the information now, so you don't know what's going to happen in the long run.
The only other thing I'm worried on him is he's 24. Yep. So when his rookie contract's done, he's going to be 28. And kind of see that's the falling off spot for
contract
running
year.
Back.
Trade him his contract year.
You're only going to have like a 4-year window with him. And then after that, it gets kind of dicey.
I mean, by that time, you already know. That's why I say trade him after that third year. Once he has that big out producing, trade him for a first plus, and then you just recoup, and then you just keep on adding on.
But as far as this year, you know you're getting production.
Like, absolutely.
There's not I'm going to have to wait mid-season. No, it's going to be week 1. You're getting points.
Definitely. All right, give us the last pick of the first round.
Ooh, well. This is tough. I'm going to go Dart. just because it's a quarterback, and I don't think he's going to start week 1. It might not be till mid to late, but he could be that stash on your bench like Penix was last year.
Yep. I actually like it because I think you're absolutely right. He's going to probably not start with Wilson there, and
No.
you have Jameis Winston, but you get to learn behind these guys. What happened with Patrick Mahomes when he got drafted? He didn't start right away. I think it's a big mistake for a lot of these players starting week 1. You know, they're coming out of a different kind of system from college. And how many of these guys flop that got drafted in the first round? I mean,
they're just not ready.
yeah, exactly. So now if you could learn behind, you know, Russell Wilson's only there for 1 year. Same with Winston. And then, you know, it might be a different coaching regime, but we don't know how that's going to work.
You do play. It's like, oh, you get Malik Neighbors. Oh,
Yep.
how horrible is that?
Yes, you get one of the best young guys in the league. Throw it up. He's going to be down there. I think he's quarterback proof himself. Malik Neighbors. I mean,
and say they have a bad season. You're going to have another high draft pick next year. You get another wide receiver to go with the Neighbors next year.
Archie Manning. No, I'm just kidding. He ain't gonna do that. You're not
don't pull a Cleveland.
No. All right. I'm on at 201 in the first round or second round. I think just because it's tight end premium, Colson Loveland, I feel like they drafted him at 10th overall. There's a reason why. Yeah. He even got picked before Tyler Warren on top of it.
I can see him getting a lot of red zone targets.
Yes, absolutely. I think
that's the thing with him.
He outshines Cole Kmet. I think Cole Kmet gets traded and maybe at preseason you know, during that time. I mean, granted, I think it is his last year of his rookie deal too. Why not just keep him on the field? Who's to say what happens to Colson Loveland getting hurt or whatever the case may be? Now you got a reliable tight end back there. But the only downfall, obviously, we talked about it multiple times on the show today. So many goddamn mouths to feed.
A lot.
But I feel like he's a Sam Laporta plus to me. Like he's better than Sam
the red
Laporta.
Zone target, so.
Yeah. All right, you're on the clock at 202.
I'm going to take Golden.
Yep.
I think the Packers finally got their number 1. Now, if they'll give him the target share number 1 gets, that's the question in Green Bay. Or is it going to be the everyone gets 4 targets like last year?
I mean, hopefully they play him more than 50% of the games. Unlike, you know, Reed, he's playing what, 60% of snaps?
That was odd.
It's just really weird.
But with the draft capital, I would assume he's going to be on the field all the time.
Right. I mean, what better name to a better place? Golden. He comes out with the gold jacket and everything else. Perfect. All right. I'm here at 203. I think I got to pick Trey Harris. I like the landing spot. I think he produced in college, and there's a lot of question marks on is he going to be good for the NFL? I think the NFL answered that question by drafting him early. And he goes to a franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. Plus, you have, you know, God, I'm drawing blank. What's a slot guy that they drafted last year? Ladd. They drafted Ladd last year, and I think this helps a lot. And he's been saying he wants a joker in his offense. Is that Omari Hampton? Could it be Trey Harris? Maybe more end arounds kind of thing, or Rondé Gatson, like I mentioned earlier. But I mean, I think they nailed this draft on offense side of the ball, and I like Trey Harris a lot in this offense.
Okay.
You're at 204.
Yeah, this is tough.
I think this is when it gets a little.
This is really getting tough now. I've moved him way up my board. the more I watch him, I love him, and that's is it Scadaboo.
Yeah, Cam
But
Scadaboo.
he just doesn't go down. Like he just keeps trucking. I don't know. I just the more I watch this guy, I like him.
And before the draft process, I was probably one of the lowest guys here at Player Profiler on Scadaboo because I didn't even have him ranked in my top 10 running backs in this class. And now you look at it, he's got the perfect landing spot with the Giants just because, he's going to be on the field. He's going to be your short yardage back. We seen it last year. Tyrone Tracy fumbled on the 1 yard line. You can't have that happen in the NFL. And that's what their biggest issue was with Tracy is that he fumbles. Well, Tracy was a old wide receiver. Maybe he's that third down running back and catches the passes out of the backfield. Who's to say? It's hard to say.
So
I'm going to select here at 205. I want to pick Jack Beck.
yeah,
I'm letting Luther Burden slide because I just don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable with that whole offensive regime. And, I already drafted, Colson Loveland, but at the same time, I think Loveland's going to be out there way more than Luther Burden. But
I would, like I said, I think Loveland will get more red zone targets. He's more likely to get a touchdown than Luther Burden.
yeah, I just like that Jack Beck, like you mentioned earlier, he's probably going to be their wide receiver one.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously, Brock Bowers, but they're both going to be out there blocking their asses off. Reward him with a catch once in a while, and you got a decent quarterback in Geno.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
on the clock at 106 or 206.
Ooh. I'm gonna go Williams from New England.
Oh, Kyle Williams.
Kyle Williams. Who else is there? Who else is their number one?
In New England?
Yeah.
Who is their number one?
They drafted a bunch of guys last year and they barely played.
Jalen Pope
And Baker, yeah.
Baker.
Those
two are gone.
None of them panned out.
You got Keishon Butte. You have, they got Diggs. That's about your number one
Diggs,
right now.
But he's a year two guy tops. Like he's not going to be there long.
Not for a long time. I don't see.
Give me the young guy I can't see him not being the number one, number two. Like he's going to be on the field every play.
And, I keep on saying this coaching regime, they drafted him for a reason. High, too. He looked good in college. He had great numbers coming out. He was one of my, rookies of the week not too long ago. I just think that's a good play.
Yeah, just another one of those landing spot guys. Like it fit.
Definitely. I think right here I have to select. I'm not high on him. Tyler Shough.
Ooh.
I don't. You sent me that video of him throwing shit in the ground. And
yeah.
I just because it's tight end or it's super flex, I think maybe this is where he goes. Maybe, this is kind of like the Bo Nix area for our draft last year. He's 26 years old, though. That's older, but at the same time, he might draw first, week one start because we don't know what's going to happen with Derek Carr. And if he goes there, Chris Olave, you want the hell out of there because he's going to throw you into another concussion.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler didn't do well last year.
No, God, no. Maybe we'll see if Kellen Moore is a quarterback whisperer now, the new man.
But yeah, if it pans out, it's an awesome pick.
Definitely. And it's not big money contract either. If he does crap the bed or if that team goes up in flames,
and
if you're you could draft your old quarterback's grandson, Archie.
Or you're bad, you take a quarterback next year. No biggie.
All right, you're on the clock.
Gosh, let's see who we got here. Maybe Higgins? Is that right? I don't have the list in front of me.
Oh, yeah, Jaden Higgins from
Higgins.
for Houston.
Yeah, Houston. I mean, you got CJ as your QB. You're going to get some targets.
Oh, absolutely. And, we've seen Nico get hurt once a season too. He misses his games. I think what hurt Higgins is having his college teammate Noel go there as well.
Yeah.
But I think
I still
over
like
time,
Higgins.
I think you're going to phase out Christian Kirk. I don't even know why they traded for Christian Kirk. Yeah, you traded 2026 6th or 7th round, but you're paying the guy $16 million. That's not chunk change right now for
No.
a guy coming off season injury as well. But maybe, you get that veteran presence. Maybe Noel learns from him. I don't know what it's going to look like.
They probably signed him just to make sure they had a guy. And then the draft just kind of fell where it did, and they weren't expecting it. And
absolutely.
Now they have an abundance of wide receivers, which for them is a good thing.
Yeah, because we don't know. I mean, obviously, Tank Dell's not playing this year. There's no way
he's
he
not.
comes back this year. And we seen last year, once they lost Diggs and him, they were like, crap, let's try to. But the thing is with that, yeah, I understand wide receivers is a need, but who the hell is going to block for you? You just traded your all-pro tackle to Commanders. It's like, yeah, well, it's a question mark. All right, I'm on the clock at what, 2:09.
Right.
Do I guess maybe Luther Burden, just because of the fact he was drafted so high at this point in the draft. This is where his slide has to stop, in my opinion. Maybe DJ's Moore is only there for one more year. I don't know.
Maybe.
Even though I think they signed him for a 4-year extension last offseason.
Nice size contract, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but I believe in Ben Johnson. I guess he showed out for me at the Detroit Lions, so I gotta believe in him. You're up at the 210. We only got 2 more picks after that.
You know what? I'm at 210. I may take the risk and take Shador. I mean, I think he's good. That's just me. For whatever reason, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But I mean, if he comes out on top in Cleveland and you get a starting quarterback at 210, I mean, you can easily, even if you don't need that quarterback, you can flip that for so much more than 210 in a couple of years.
At least if he's a starting quarterback,
exactly,
in a Superflex, at least a first plus, and you're getting them late. And if you're drafting at 210, you're a competitive team normally too.
I'm going ceiling at this point, and I don't see any ceiling higher than a starting quarterback at this point. Like,
no, not at all.
Maybe this humbles him a little. And
that's what a lot of people have been saying.
I mean, look at Baker.
Yeah, getting bounced around in the league, and then I think that going to the Rams was the best thing possible for Baker.
Best thing in the world that happened to him.
And then you gain that confidence. You didn't even, you come back. You were there, you got signed on a Wednesday, played that Sunday or whatever, signed on a Monday and played Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a comeback win, and you only know 20 plays, if that. It's just so exciting to hear and see. And then now what he's doing in Tampa the last couple seasons, perfect.
Yeah. At 210, I'll throw the dart.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. All right, I think I have to take your advice and just dart throw kind of. And I'm going to say Bashaw Tootin for Jacksonville, just because of the fact, running backs are dime a dozen. I feel like they're always coming in and out of the league. But he's got the draft capital. I think it was 4th round draft pick. Plus, Etienne, I don't think is going to be here after next year.
No.
And then I'm not a big fan on Tank Bigsby. And this Liam Cohen coming here, maybe he addresses it, such as what he's been doing at Tampa the last couple seasons there.
Does Etienne really scare you? Like,
To
I just
me,
see him, he's like
I don't.
he's just a guy to me.
I think he gets phased out of this offense quickly. I think maybe 6 games he plays and then he gets phased out. That's how I
I
feel.
could see him beating him mid-season for that
Yes.
starting role.
And with the blazing speed of running 4.33 or whatever it was.
He gets into a game early and busts a couple for 20, 30, 40 yards. He's going to be the starting running back.
I mean, shit, we've seen last year him get beat out by Tank Bigsby, really. And Tank Bigsby, I don't, he's just a ground and pound guy. So having Bigsby and Tootin rather than Etienne, maybe they just say screw it and run Etienne into the ground this year and then get rid of him.
That could happen.
And you got fresh tires on Tootin and he learned a whole year of your offense. Maybe, I don't know. It's just at this point in the draft, this is where you take your shots.
Yeah, you're going on ceiling, and who could get me better draft capital maybe next year than what I took him at this point.
Yes, absolutely. All right, give us your last pick.
Tight end premium, probably Taylor.
I love it. I was going to go him or Tootin myself.
Yeah. I mean, other than what, New York Garrett Wilson, like who else is going to get targets?
Yeah, no, exactly. And he's going to be on the field. He's got no competition behind him.
Justin Fields has shown he'll throw to the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he made Cole Kmet into like a superstar some weeks.
That is true. And there you guys have it. 2-round mock by Billy and me. I mean, there's still people on the board like Jalen Milroe, Dart Throw, Jalen Noel.
It's
Samson's
a very deep
probably
draft.
not anymore. Elijah Arroyo, Terrence Ferguson,
Blue.
Jaden Blue. I like him too for the Cowboys.
Still got my boy Savian.
I mean, even Will Howard. Like
he might get some starts.
What the hell is happening with Drama Queen Rogers? I don't know, but he might as well.
Unless they really like Kyle Rudolph.
Also, another guy is Woody Marks for Houston. I'm very high on him because we seen last year, what happened with Joe Mixon. He got hurt. Then what? They're scared. They Pierce gave him a couple good games, but I don't think that coaching regime likes him one bit.
You probably would have been in heaven if your boy from Syracuse would have went to Pittsburgh.
Quentin Allen?
Or the QB.
Oh.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. Kyle McCord, yes.
McCord, thank you.
Well, Allen went to Jacksonville, actually, so I was...
McCord
it's hard because he was a 7th-round guy, so I don't see him getting much, but he
might
could
not be a bad thing for McCord to go to Philly and learn for a couple of years.
No, I know. I mean, hell, he might get traded to the Cleveland for a 5th again, you never know. I mean, I think he's better than Kenny Pickett, so at this point,
definitely,
you never know. But yeah, Bill, that is a wrap, and I appreciate you jumping on. I gotta get you on more often. We connect so well, obviously, besides personal level. We both share the same kind of, diehard for sports in general and fantasy sports on top of that.
And if you're like me, your draft board is going to change 20 times between now and actual draft day.
Exactly.
There's a lot of free agents out there that could really change things.
So many. But thank you, Bill, again for joining me here on the show today. Remember, follow, like, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter at LouisLewis5. That's LEWYLEWIS. And give my podcast Fantasy End Zone a listen to. Bill, do you have Twitter?
I do not have Twitter.
No? All right. Well, we got to get you on the Twitter games. You can start tweeting. All right. I'll see you fantasy gamers next week. Till then, peace out.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.